guys, Sarah here, welcome back. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit weird, I am a bit sick. I did the healthy thing of taking just a couple days of mental health leave because, I mean, all I say is that life's hectic, but then work got hectic in just like a crappy way. And then, of course, I immediately got sick. I spent a couple days in bed, and I've been doing just some swatching and playing with ink just by myself because it makes me feel happy, but I actually haven't filmed in a couple of weeks because of life. The videos that I've been scheduling were ones that I was able to do just like on a random day when I had some time, and I kind of missed it. So I will hopefully, I'll listen back. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad, and I'll try and edit out my coughs. But I also wanted to try and do something a little bit different for this swatching video, because I think it's always interesting. Like, we always want to look at dry versus wet samples. Writing samples is what I meant to say. So I actually pre-swatched the ink swatch, and then I thought I would write it in with you. And then, of course, I did it, and I wrote a list of how it was, and then I completely forgot to swatch one. So I've got 9 pre-done, and then I'll do the last one at the end, and then depending on how long the video is, I might then keep these 2 for another video. So what this is in the Discord, sometimes people get together and do group orders, and a couple months ago people did a group order for dinowrites, which is in Singapore, just to save on shipping, and someone kind of organizes it, which is really amazing. So someone in the Discord group named Grace did it, and I got some samples, and I got a little notebook. I kind of really wish I would have got a Benu pen because I just tried one at the Melbourne Pen Posse, but alas, next time. So I've got 10 samples here, and then the person who sends it all out added in a couple little extra things. So I got some really cute washi and some stickers that I've given to my daughter, and 2 ink samples. But I thought I'd try some inks that I haven't tried before. They stock a little bit of Birmingham Pen Company, which always excites me, but there are definitely some brands in here that I don't know of. So we'll see if this works or not, like seeing the dry next to the wet. But yeah, I thought it could just be a different, interesting way to do it. So this first one is an Ink Institute ink. And we'll also see if I got it right. I missed this nib holder, so I wanted to see if the Wearangle nib would go in there, and it has, which is nice. So this is Ink Institute, and it's called Bacon Press. Am I gonna run out? Red Soil. You can see when it goes down, I think it looks a lot more brown going down, and then it dries to this dusty pink with some really nice haloing there. It feels wet-ish on the nib, but again, it's a brand I really don't know, so I haven't put it in a pen yet, and will be interested to see how it writes. So that's the first one, and then we're going to see in real time if I've got this right or if I've got this wrong. Next up is a Troublemaker ink Sepia Hour. I found some Troublemaker inks a bit dry, to be honest. I'm thinking of Kelp Tea I found a bit dry, Foxglove, depending on the pen, and then is it Abalone? Is that the one I'm thinking of? But I really just liked the look of this one, and you can see in the dry sample there the different, like the breakaway shading you're getting of that purple on top. So we will go with this one next. So as I said, it is Troublemaker. looks actually wet, quite similar to the red soil. I'm hoping you can see. I might just bring it up in that dried sample. You see the breakaway, like the orange halo there? Beautiful. I also finally went and got myself some new blotting paper because the other one was just not happy. So this is where I get a little bit less confident. I literally wrote out a list and then nothing in my list makes sense, which is just so token me. This is a brand new to me, so it's Leonardo. They're obviously the pens, but I've never tried any of their inks. And this one is Leonardo Taurasi, or red wine. And I mean, for the color, but also for the consumable. I can very rarely go past an ink called with wine in the title. Am I gonna... Taurasi. See? Confident. Got that one right. Hey. Can't really... I don't really know how to approach giving a bit of a life update, because a lot of the stuff that's just pushed me over the edge has been work stuff that's a bit confidential. But what was interesting is, I don't know when it was, whatever day it was. This next one's a limited edition. I'll write out the name and then bring it up. You can see it's a Sailor ink. On one of the days, like, I was so unwell in the end, and I ended up texting my partner in the morning. She hadn't stayed over the night before, and I was like, I actually don't know if I can try. If I like had a fever, I just felt so unwell. And she was like, I'll get dressed, I'll be there soon. She did the kid drop off at Kindren's school, which was pretty incredible. And then she went to work, and then at the end of the day she came over and and I was saying to her, can you just look at these two inks? They are just so my happy place. That murky purple. This one I have swatched before, but at dinowrites they do 4ml samples, and I really like this ink. It's it's a Pannonia ink, Greenfinch or Zoldyck, and I was like, yep, I've gone through it. I definitely want to get another one. But I added it in here just I'm thinking of the word chronological, but that's not the right word. To list, whatever, I can't speak. Anyway, I was saying to her at the end of the day, I mean, I felt so lightheaded that I actually really wanted to have a bath and like fill it with, you know, whatever essential oil, eucalyptus, to just try and steam the cold out of me. But I felt quite lightheaded. I said, look, do you mind if I wait, and then just so I'm not like alone in the house, because I then didn't have my kids that night. And that was all fine. So I'll just want to bring these up, sorry. So interesting here with the sepia hour. You're not getting that breakaway that you are in the swatch, but I still think that is such a beautiful color. And then these, I mean, you can see I definitely have a type A. The Sailor Manu Akamai, just the I call it like a brown gray that's kind of like sitting over the top. Again, you see it more as a halo in the writing sample, but I just think that's so beautiful. And then this Leonardo Young Wine is gorgeous. And this is kind of in that olive green that I seem to be finally finding greens that I like. What was I saying? This is another brand new to me, IWI Slight Snow, which is another purple. And I don't know if anyone's had this experience, but I have a partner who is really incredible at making me feel really safe and holding space, if you know that term, which is incredible, right? But I didn't know if it was almost like meant that I could like unravel more. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really, because usually, you know, when you're on the go, and like the last few years have just been absolute survival mode, and she's really good at pausing or stopping. See, not confident that that's the right one. I reckon that's that one. Whoa. Huh. Do you know what that is? That is Birmingham Pen Company. That's so annoying. That is that. Oh no. Am I gonna regret what I'm about to do? It's because I was talking and being vulnerable. Tangent. I've been watching, while I've been unwell and like in bed, I've been kind of watching a lot of Serial Nana and Bookish Artist Mandy's backlog. And I do doodle. I mean, Bookish Artist Mandy isn't like an artist. I'm not an artist by any means, but I was like, I like doodling. And so then I was like, I also know that Shauna really likes the great owl. And so then I was like, what if I tried to draw some flowers? That's the great owl in the middle, and then find some inks that might be kind of similar. And again, I wrote down what they were on a piece of paper. Do I know where that piece of paper is? No. But I think I want to just give journaling a bit more of a go, because that was just a fun little experience. Okay. What are we going to do? I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to put this down here. See, I like the idea of being able to see the dry and but I just need to write it out properly, I guess. All right, so this is, and I was like, oh my God, imagine if I get through this without making a mistake. That one there is the Slight Snow, which burgundy. Any guesses why I chose it? Burgundy. Oh my God, I am so confused. Because here's my issue. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 there. I know I didn't. Which one didn't I swatch? Maybe I didn't swatch this one. Okay. We're going to work this out. I thought I had solved it, and I was very much wrong. This one down here, let's start there, and then I'll work out what to do. This is either Slight Snow or that might actually be Young Wine. I can't believe I've messed this up so much. I mean, you don't come here for perfectly curated things, but you think I could just swatch, and maybe this was just the wrong idea to do it this way, but I just thought it could be interesting. But maybe also I did this, like the dry bit, when I was quite unwell, which maybe isn't the way to do it. This is 5 Cent Fuchsia. And I don't even remember what I was saying. I was just saying that it's a little bit of a new experience for me to have a partner who's like, can hold that space and is okay when someone is struggling, I guess, and understanding of, you know, coming out of survival mode and just all the hecticness of life. And it feels amazing, but it also like let my guard down. And that's an interesting experience. Oh, and she just texted me. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is a Birmingham. I'm just gonna, oh, I can't believe I stuffed this up. Do you remember in my, and it's called Nocturnal Lavender, in my like thoughts and plans, and I was like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't be hard on yourself. Nocturnal Lavender, and then this one I know as well, so it's gonna be between the last two whether I've So what I might do, and now I'm like swatching like I need to swatch, which I don't need to do. This is another brand that's new to me, Octopus Fluids, which I've heard really good things about actually, and it's called Sepia Black. Yeah. And yeah, so that's the end of that disjointed ramble. And it's also probably why I was like, yeah, you still feel a bit, but maybe do try and jump on and do a video, because every time I do and actually let like some of the honesty, like I watched some of my early videos the other week when I couldn't, like my original ones when I couldn't sleep, and like I can see myself there, but I can also see the difference now. And in being that little bit more vulnerable, I actually feel, even in the last few months, the depth of pen friend, like that, the genuineness of that those relationships, like I can feel the difference. Like I did a swatch and sip with Maria. We spoke, I think the video is 1 hour and 45 minutes, and we were speaking for half an hour before, half an hour after, and it filled my cup. Like it was so awesome. I wonder if I actually have, I'm digressing because I don't know what to do about this last thing. So for you, those who know, Maria can have completely warranted, but like sometimes funny opinions about like when inks are named something and that's not what they are. So I was looking at, for our next one, we haven't organized a date, but I am going to create some inks based on like titles that have like a color in it, like once in a blue moon. But then you Google what is a blue moon and da-da-da. So blue collar, red herring. So whether I do 2, 4, like 8, I'll see how I go. And then I don't want to give it away too much, but then I've started a little bit of research here in like what I want to do. So that's what I want to bring together for my next swatch and sip. So this is not this. This is Pannonia Young Wine. That doesn't look good there, does it? And then is that Nocturnal Lavender? What I'm going to do, how long have I been filming? 18 minutes. I'm going to pause. I'll let this dry. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and I will swatch those 3 and the 2 that Grace gave me. And we'll just do it normally because this was a disaster. And I'm going to tell myself I should still post it because no one's perfect and there's still some really cool inks in there. I haven't even spoken about them. Why don't we do that quickly? This is, for me, my favorite Birmingham Pen Company ink, which you can't get here, but my absolute favorite is Pennsylvania Fieldstone. This is very different. This is much more saturated, but just that kind of like that dark shading over the top. It just reminds me of like with Pennsylvania Fieldstone, there's that really light pink with that gray over the top. So this for me feels like a more saturated, deeper version of that. I'm not really going to talk about this one because it's just an ink I really like. But these ones here, I find the Sailor Manyo Akamai really interesting, that kind of melding of the purple and the brown, which I really, really love. I honestly don't know why I put this Octopus Fluids in. I know I wanted to try an Octopus Fluids, but this isn't really a color that I go for. But variations of black are kind of always interesting to see. I'm interested to see, seeing as I use fine and extra fine pens, if this will end up being too light. And while I wait for this to dry, I might have a look and see if other inks kind of jump to mind thinking about it. I am really enjoying the few Pannonia inks I have, but I'll let this dry and then we'll do the other ones in a moment. See you soon. All right, let's give this another go. Ooh, with my Tracy Chapman voice. So, when I went into bookbinders and I saw that they had the Jacobin blotting paper, and I saw it on the website and it was $22, and I thought it was $22 just for one sheet, but it was actually a whole pack. And I used my other one to absolute death. So I got that, and I sold something else, and I was like, I wanted to put a little bit, like some of the money in savings, and then I wanted to buy myself something. So I'll do at some point a new pen day, and I got some ink and a pen with that, so I'll do that another time. But then I saw this and it still kind of came into the budget, and now I can put one underneath and on top. So this is Pannonia Young Wine. Do one more little thing there. I would actually like to know when the ink, like with Pannonia, so some of the Pannonia inks or some other ones, do you prefer to catalog them with their, like the native language? Like, would you have this as Mostrovos, or would you have it as Young Wine Mostrovos or Mostrovos Young Wine? I don't like being like butchering languages that I can't pronounce properly, but I feel like if it's called Mostrovos, then that's kind of what I want to call it. I kind of go in between, but I'd be interested to know what you do. I feel like if I can, I don't know, what's it like? I feel like it's almost more respectful to call it what they call it, you know? Just because I can't speak the language doesn't mean I should refer to it as something that isn't. But then there's, you know, like with Kitty Inkpot inks, I use the English translation for all of those, but the Chinese is in Chinese characters, so I can't read it. But yeah, I'd just be interested to know how you refer to it or catalog it. Because yeah, I think about it sometimes. This is IWI, which I actually don't know what that stands for, Slight Snow. This reminds me of, the Pannonia, is it Pannonia or, and they did the Stryogi, and they did it was like a red with a black shimmer or a black with a red shimmer, just that kind of blood red burgundy. And then this ink, that purple burgundy, again, like my absolute wheelhouse. I just absolutely love it. It felt really nice on the nib as well. So I think that's going to have to get into a pen pretty soon. Then the last one from my little order is a Birmingham, whoopsies, pen company ink. No shock to anyone, it's another purple, but I think I actually probably prefer the purple burgundies over just the straight purples. I'm finding burgundies and pinks. I think I said in a video a while ago, I just want to swatch all my burgundy inks in one area, like, and look how they relate to each other, but I haven't worked out how I want to lay it out. So this is a Birmingham. And I was saying in the first part of this, when I showed that little doodle, been watching a lot of, oh God, I can't write today, knock. Serial Lavender, Nana or Shauna, and then Bookish Artist Mandy. And I hadn't come across Bookish Artist Mandy before I took my little YouTube break. So it's awesome because then I've got tons to go back and watch. And she obviously loves Benu pens and talks about how amazing they are with shimmer and everything else. And I wonder if I can grab it. At the Pen Posse meetup, I actually got to try my first Benu, and they had a shimmer ink in it. And it was Bookkeeper's Brass. It was a briolet, and it wrote so amazing. Like, it was incredible. It just glided across the page. I liked that ink because the shimmer was quite subtle. It was so amazing. And I've always wondered with the Benus, you know, they have quite that kind of like, it's quite a pronounced like step down from the section to then the pen body. It felt so comfortable in the hand. It was so amazing. I was like, oh, now I've got to get a Benu. But it was awesome. Like, I had literally probably the day before watched, Mandy has just one video fully focused on her Benu pens. And then I got to try one the next day, which was really cool. It didn't post very securely. I don't really post my pens, so that didn't matter to me. So what I'm just going to write in here is, and I think I've said before, I'm quite new to the Discord group, but in the group orders bit of, if I look back, usually like if people kind of nominate themselves to kind of be in charge of the group order, when they send it all out, they like add little things in and just kind of like, you know, just that community aspect of it, which is so beautiful. So I would really like when my life doesn't feel like I'm always on the precipice of a breakdown. She says sarcastically, I understand that this is it's a visual medium, but you can hear me. I'm not actually having a breakdown, but you know, life, it kicks you in the gut sometimes. I would love to be able to maybe organize one and then send out some be able to give back as well. But I just want to do it at a time where I actually have the mental space for that. So this is an ink brand that I also haven't tried, which is Ishimaru Bankudo. And what I find really interesting, funny, whatever word you want to use, is I don't know Grace. And I've been trying to really like blue inks or understand them because I just don't get the hype. And then this is one of the ones she sent, and the name of the ink is Love at First Blue. So, and I actually quite like that ink. So maybe a little bit of kismet there. I think that's a really, really beautiful ink. And I don't know if she makes the labels, but they both have like little like emojis as she prints them, which is so cute. But I actually really like that. Again, is it going to be too light I'm going to have to think about the pen that I put it in, but I do like that. And I don't like many blues. Maybe it's that I don't like saturated blues. But sometimes the mood for Konpeki does strike, so who knows? Oh, it's a different kind of squiggle, wasn't it? And this last one is a Sailor ink, and it's Sailor Manyo Kuri. It's spelled differently. in Australia, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander or Indigenous people from Victoria, which is the state I live in, it's not colloquial, that's the wrong term. They'll be like the Wurundjeri people or from like Bunurong land, but overall people, like Indigenous people from Victoria are called Koori. So there's like specific like Koori Health or things like that, but it's spelt differently, Koori. But that's the word I associate with Koori. But as you look at it, even as it's drying, can you see the little bits of purple just like popping through there, like almost rising to the surface? So there you go. We had our first little mishap over here, but then these are what these actual ones are. And I'm happy I did this because this ink, Slight Snow, is so beautiful. I just want to get it into a pen absolutely immediately. And then this one, which was just a little extra happy mail, I find really interesting. With these two, I do want to think a little bit about the pen I put it in, because I think it would be really beautiful to be able to see some of that like breakaway shading, chroma shading coming through. Now, whenever I say chroma shading, I think of when Maria's like, I don't know why people call it chroma shading, because chroma just means color, which I get and agree with. And like sometimes I like label my swatching videos Chroma Therapy, because it's like color therapy, jewel coloring, multi-shading, whatever we want to call it. But even like with this, or which one was it? It was the Troublemaker Sepia Hour. Like it's got the multiple colors in there, but for me, like that breakaway color shading is kind of what makes sense in terms of how I describe it in my head. But there we go. I hope my voice hasn't been too annoying. I hope that I get over this sickness. But there is some 10 samples from dinowrites and then 2 extras from Grace. And yeah, thank you for persevering through this ramble of a video with me. And I think I will end this one the way I ended my last vulnerable video, which was just like, and scene, man exits stage right, pursued by a bear. Shakespeare. Stage right, stage left. We'll use prompt and off prompt here. All right, we got to stop tangenting. If you had any favorites from here, let me know. If you have any experience with some of these brands that are quite new to me, Ink Institute, Leonardo, Octopus Fluids, really interested in actually, because I hear really good things about it. So I would love to know if you have any Octopus Fluid favorites, how you find how it behaves, etc. Yeah, because I really know nothing about it. And again, not sure why I chose that color, but really interested in learning more about this ink as a brand and how it performs. So we will leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.